Welcome to the Lioness at the Door podcast. I'm Jackie Sorensen. I'm a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and a holistic health coach for women of faith and their families. The image of Lioness at the Door is meant to inspire us to see ourselves as converted, wise, strong, and able women at the door of our homes, but also at the door of our choices. The door represents the opportunity to choose our path, even our thoughts, moment by moment and in all circumstances. My prayer is that the few minutes you spend listening to this podcast will help you feel more loved, understood, appreciated, and encouraged to meet the challenges that are uniquely yours. When we feel loved and take responsibility for ourselves, we can love others and teach them to be responsible too, which is a great recipe for progress and for healthy family relationships. So, thanks for being here, and we'll move on to today's topic. Hacks for happy on one income. When my husband and I got married, I knew that when we had kids, that I wanted to be at home with them. I had had the clarity of both experiences of being home with a mom and of being a teenager later when my mom was single and working hard. And I knew from my perspective, from a child's perspective, that I really wanted to be home with our kids if at all possible. So especially when they were home through those formative years. So when our children came along and those real life decisions of how to live on one income also became our top focus. And for many years, it was our evolutionary quest as a family. At first, I babysat to bring in some money so that I could be with our first child at home while my husband finished a graduate degree. And then we moved into the working world. And for a stretch, we were paying off student loans. So we kept our budget really simple, just spending for necessities and just kind of kept our belt tight and just still living on a kind of a student mindset. This was about the time that I started to thrift shop. This has become a love of mine. This is before it was kind of the vogue thing to do. And I did that to help try to keep the burden of supplying just the basics of food and clothing for our children as light as possible. For a few dollars, I found that I could find books and clothes and sometimes home decor or whatever that we needed. And it was really pretty thrilling at the time. And like I said, it's become something that I really, really enjoy doing. Later, as our kids started into school, we decided that we would offer them two options for their extra activities. If they wanted to take piano lessons and dancing, then that was great. But then if they decided they wanted to try something else, then they would have to choose between their current classes or lessons and the new one that they wanted. They'd have to pick between them. And while it did keep their options limited, this decision also seems to have given them another benefit, and that was that really timely window of opportunity to be a kid. I think it's something that's so important. They learned from their teachers and their lessons, but they also had time to ride their bikes through the neighborhood. They had homework and practicing, but also fun times with friends and reading good books and playing ball. When I see kids today who are overscheduled, it really makes me sad to think that they might miss out on that one time in their lives when they can just be really young and carefree. As it turns out, 2 of our 3 kids play the piano. One is a violinist, one played the saxophone, now he plays the banjo. One danced on point and one tried gymnastics. And so even with our prescribed limit, we still spent, as parents, we still spent a chunk of time and money driving to and from lessons. And so I'm really grateful that our kids took advantage of those opportunities that they had, and they were also able to have that freedom, that free time when they were growing up. When we went school shopping to save money, we kind of had this order that we did it. First, we went to thrift shops, and then to department stores, and then very last, we went to the mall. By the time we got to that most expensive place, we had usually gathered some pretty good basics for a lot less. And that was a really good, at least for me and my perspective, that was a really good eye-opening experience for them to see how to spend money. We also set up a system which was called a token economy, for funneling money through our kids instead of spending money for our kids. And we learned this through James Jones' program called Let's Fix the Kids. And you can find this program in full on YouTube now. I'm so delighted to say that Brother Jones wanted, as he retired and moved into his grandpaing time of life, that he wanted to make all of his materials, put them all into the public domain. And I was so thrilled about that when I asked him about it, and that was his response. So you can find it on YouTube. This idea of a token economy, or funneling money through your children, it changed the expectation we had of us buying our children what they needed, to the kids taking the money they earned at home and making decisions themselves about how much they wanted to spend on different things. And, we all know that it makes a huge difference in how you think about money and how you use money when you have to put forth the effort to earn it, right? Our kids are really good with their money now. And I imagine this experience was part of what helped them to be successful in this area. I also see that they are accustomed to working for what they have and then to taking care of what they have. And it's really, really wonderful to my mother heart to see that. Being free of the need of a second income in many cases requires us to think outside the box and to be willing to really honestly look at what is a need versus what is a want. And then focusing in on your family, not on what the neighbors have or what they're doing, and focusing in on learning new skills to take care of the things you have or to create some of the things that you need. And for instance, I learned to sew out of necessity. I learned to sew. It wasn't an easy process, I'll say. I pulled my hair out a lot at first because it wasn't something that came to me simply. But what I found was that I love it. And I have spent many, many enjoyable hours making Christmas gifts, sewing jackets, baby gifts, prom dresses. We saved a lot of money on even one prom dress was a big savings. And then I've made a lot of quilts, although I've never gotten good at it. Living on less also requires parents unplugging from that entitlement mindset, right? It's the one we're trying to get our children to unplug from. This really requires us to unplug from feeling entitled, to replacing that with a feeling of contentment in the blessings that we have, materially speaking, but also in the richness of the time we get to spend with each other, and in the simplicity of doing less and owning less and caring for less. It really has been a blessing. Softening into the unspeakably precious opportunity to care for our own children at home is so worth it. It can be a process, and it may take concerted mental recentering, but the dividends are great. Our children are with us for such a short time, and they're bonding with us. They're coming out of their childhood feeling solidly connected to another human being is so crucial for their development. It's so crucial for them to be able to become the loving and responsible people that they have the capacity to be. It's just so important. If your efforts, Mom, to earn money are required for your family to eat and have a roof over your head, then God bless you to find great success and peace in that scenario. You amaze me with your resilience and your strength. So today I'm sending you my love and kudos for every courageous act that you perform today, no matter what it is. You are amazing. Take good care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.